So in this video, you're going to learn exactly what I did to get me to over 800,000 followers across all my platforms. The main thing that I hear people say when I talk to them is like, oh yeah, I could figure it out on my own. But chances are I go back to their page a month later, 2 months later, they were probably consistent for about a couple weeks, maybe a month, and they end up falling off. And it's because they don't understand the framework or how much work it really takes to become good at creating content. Content is not just something where you could just fucking just start putting stuff together and all of a sudden you get viral videos. This actually takes work. This actually takes guidance. So what you're going to learn here today is going to be extremely valuable because it's what got me to over $20,000 a month cutting hair. It got me over $50,000 last year just from creating content on TikTok and Facebook. So this is exactly what you're going to have to do. If you don't want to fucking pay a coach, it's going to be some extra work. It might take you a little bit longer, a lot longer. You're going to run through a lot of obstacles, but at least if you don't want to pay that higher ticket price to get that direct one-on-one guidance and you do feel like you want to do it by yourself, this video is exactly what you need to guide you through your journey, and it's going to tell you exactly what you need to focus on from start to finish to actually get results. So there's going to be a lot of game on here. So if you got your notebooks, take it out because we're going to get straight into it. All right, let me make myself, actually, let me just go right here. So first comes first, the first thing that you need to improve is your fucking limiting beliefs. I have talked to so many people and all they have to offer is limiting beliefs. I can't get people to see themselves for more than what they're currently living because all they see is their past experiences. If you want to embark on this journey of creating content on your own and figuring it out on your own, then you have to already be open to the fact that it is possible for you. If you can't get past the fact that it's possible for you, then you will not get anywhere. You have to know that this is possible for you and that there really are people out here doing 10, 15, 20K a month. I don't think you would be wasting your time watching this video if you didn't already believe that. So chances are this is the perfect video for you, but I'm going to go through this just in case you got any of these things kind of lingering in your mind. You have to get rid of them if you're going to go through this pursuit, okay? So first things first, you have to truly believe in your heart that you can charge a higher price point than anyone in your city. When I started cutting hair and I moved from, I was already cutting hair, but when I moved from New York and I moved to Florida, I came into the shop and I promise you, I looked around and I was like, dang, this dude's better than me, this dude's better than me, this dude's better than me, this dude's better than me. Instantly, I started to question the price point, bro. I'm like, dog, how can I charge a higher price point than these guys if they're way better than me? So at the time, it didn't matter how much information I had. It didn't matter what I was given. If I mentally didn't believe that I was worth more than these guys, there's absolutely no way that I would have been able to get into content or have any success. So the first thing you have to believe is that you can charge a higher price than anyone in your city, no matter what city you're in, no matter what other people what the OGs may say about the clientele in that city. It's fucking bullshit. They're just not putting in the work. Excuse me. Secondly, you don't gotta be the fucking best, bro. I was not the best. I honestly didn't feel like the best barber in that barbershop until I was charging $100. I promise you. Up until I was charging $100, I felt like everyone's fade is better than mine. Everyone's lineups are crispier than mine. And that kind of slowed me down, but I was getting so much results that I was just like, bro, it doesn't even matter if they're better than me because my clients don't care. My clients aren't coming into the shop looking around at who else was doing something. My content was already showing people, showing the barbers that clients don't care about that. All clients care about is that you're fixing their fucking problem. All right? You do have the time. That same time that you're sitting in the shop scrolling on TikTok, the same time that you spend, 45 minutes eating food, you do have the time to record. You do have the time to edit. If you're telling yourself that you don't have the time, that's absolute bullshit, and that means your priorities are messed up. Because if barbering is your main source of income and you're not focusing on what you need to do in order to make more income in your main source of income, your priorities are messed up, bro. You have to change your schedule around to make sure that every day you're able to record, you're able to edit, and you're able to post. If you can't do this, you will not be able to achieve what's to come from this. It is going to be a lot of work, so you have to commit to putting in the effort, to putting in the time, and setting that time apart. You can't just say, oh, I'll do it when I can fit it in. Every single person that does that leads to falling off. Every single time. It never fails. So you need to make sure, you need to know that you have the time, and you need to structure your day in a way where it is a priority and it's a non-negotiable. All right. Lastly, nobody gives a rat's ass. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck that you're creating content. The barbers may laugh at you. They might joke at you, but it's just a joke. You're just a reflection of their insecurities, of the fact that they don't do nothing. But realistically, nobody cares that you specifically are creating content. Your clients don't care that you're creating content. They're not judging you. They're not gonna think nothing crazy about you. Oh man, this dude's doing too much. I'm gonna go to another barber. Nobody cares. The people around you don't care. Your friends on Instagram don't care. Everyone is creating content. Are you gonna let, what I always tell people is, are you gonna let some fear of judgment, are you gonna let fear of judgment stop you from making an extra $7,000 a month? We got to really think about what's at stake here. Are we really going to let a few comments stop us from making an extra $84,000 a year? Absolutely not to me. I don't care what you say. I had so many people laugh at me, telling me I'm wild, I'm stupid, I'm taking a hella long recording, and I'm missing out on walk-ins. Guess what? They're still waiting. They're still in the shop depending on walk-ins, and look where I'm at. I'm about to retire from cutting hair. I've had multiple $20,000 months cutting hair. I don't need it, bro. But it's because in the beginning, I understood what the goal of all of this was. Boom. All right. Your mindset. This is the mindset you need to have to be successful. First of all, you need to realize content is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. There's frameworks, there's principles that go into this, and it is simple. This is not hard work. You just need to understand pattern recognition. All right? 10K a month is not far. I've gotten people to $10,000 a month in 3 months, in 4 months. I got a student that came in at 1.5K, and his 5th month working with me, he's already at $10,000 a month. I had someone come in at 3.5K. He already passed 9K a month, charging $80, and he came in at $25. I've helped a bunch of barbers go from 3K to 10K in 4 months. Absolutely changed their life. 10K is extremely easy. You could be a fucking donut and make 10K a month, bro. You could have nothing up here and make 10K a month. I promise you. Commit to change or stay broke. You have to commit to this, bro. This isn't something where you could hop on and hop off. Social media is all about momentum. So the more consistent you are, the more serious you are about elevating yourself and taking your content serious, the easier it's going to be for you to level up. If you can't commit to change, you're going to stay broke. That's the mindset you need to have. If I'm getting comfortable, you got to get away from that. If you're getting comfortable, you got to change something, because comfort leads to you staying broke. And if you're watching this video and you're still here, I could guarantee that you're not the type of person that's planning on staying broke for long. All right. In order to get higher paying clients, you have to lose cheap clients. There are definitely going to be people, as you get booked up and you scale up your prices, there's going to be people that say, hey, bro, I can't afford this. I'm going with so-and-so. Oh, he's tripping. He's charging too much. I'm going to so-and-so. That's totally fine, bro. Because guess what? At the bottom, everybody's fighting for scraps. But there are $100 clients in your city that nobody's getting. There's people that are waiting for someone to charge a high price and know that they're going to get a guaranteed result. They don't want to walk into an average barbershop and get a cut by a random barber that's going to mess them up for $35 a cut. People are willing to pay for a guarantee. There are people that would love to pay for a guarantee. Sow now and harvest later. Put in the work now so that you can harvest later. This is a biblical principle. You never get to harvest season without sowing. You can never harvest anything without sowing. You have to feed. You have to plant seeds. You have to do the work now. You won't see the benefits right now. But when harvest season comes, you will see every single seed that you planted grow. And God is going to exponentially grow your harvest. If you only focus on, oh, what am I getting? What am I getting? Oh, I posted this video, I didn't get any results. And you let that determine whether you post the video the next day or not, I could guarantee you are getting nowhere. Sow now, harvest later. That's the mindset we need to have. No matter at what point you get to, I'm going to put in the work now, and I'm not expecting results. I know my results are coming later, so I'm not even going to pay attention. I'm just going to use these numbers as data for how I can improve, not as a rubric of how good I'm doing. Lastly, be, do, have. First, you need to become the person that can actually get results, that can actually be consistent. Being is right before doing. You cannot do the work without being the person. You know what happens when you do the work without being the person? You fall off because you're not the type of person that can maintain that type of work. You need to become the person. What does that mean? You need to be disciplined. You need to be focused. You need to limit your distractions. Becoming the person is about removing what's not going to push you forward. Being the person is about being around, being in rooms, being in situations that are going to push you forward and toward your purpose. That's being. Doing is the actual work. But you can't do if you don't have structure, if you don't have discipline, if you're not consistent, if anytime you maybe post a week long and you get absolutely no views for a week, maybe you have a slow week, no clients. If you let that determine whether you do the work again, you're not going to get anywhere. So you have to be, you have to do, and then you will have. You will not have right at the start. Have is harvest season. Be and do is sowing season. There's a difference. Be, do, have, and it has to be in that exact same order. All right, so we're going to go over here. Boom. You need to look for what's working in the market. Once you have these, you have you remove limiting beliefs, you have your mindset. Now you need to look for what's working in the market. What are all the successful barbers doing? Once you can find what the successful barbers are doing, now you have a recipe that you can start off with. You have a template of what you need to do in order to get results. All right. This is a timeless video. I'm not going to give any specifics on exactly what you have to do or how to get the exact results, because I would have to be here for 6 fucking hours. And I'm not doing that. I do coach people. If you want coaching and you want to skip all of this, I could help you with that. But this is for the people that are looking to better their barber business no matter what year it is. Right now it's 2026. This same framework, this same method that I'm sharing with you guys will work until 2050, 2080, 2100s. This is a framework that you can use in anything in your life, but this is specifically for barbers. All right. You're going to look for what's working in the market. What is the market? Social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, anything, Facebook. You're going to look for what's working in the market. So boom, what you're going to do is you're going to find 3 to 6 creators that are charging at least $80. The reason that we're finding 3 to 6 creators that are charging $80 is because just because someone has views doesn't mean that their videos are converting into clients. So don't equate views with money, with clients, with results. Views is very different. You want to make sure that someone is actually getting paid for what they're doing. Just creating good content is not enough. Do not create content for views because it leads you absolutely nowhere. All right. Secondly, you want to find someone who has a similar clientele to you. If you are a lineup specialist, if you are really good with black people, with hairlines, with tapers, don't go to someone like Barber Josh OP, who's doing all these textured cuts and try and do what he's doing. It's not going to work. You need to find someone that has a similar clientele to you, 3 to 6 creators that are charging $80 and up. That way you know that their videos, their content actually converts and attracts higher paying clients. Your higher paying clients, same niche, same specialty. That is how you're going to be able to actually catch up to the marketplace. You're going to find these people and you're going to save a bunch of videos of their best performing videos. You're going to save them and you're going to put them in a folder. Once you put them in that folder, we're going to move on to studying. We're going to move on to studying. Studying is very important. I know you might not have liked it when you were in school, but guess what? When it comes to business, when it comes to social media, studying is just as important as anything else that you do in any of this. Studying is a key to life. So when you study, you're going to look for what are the repeating patterns in these videos. Meaning, what is the hook? What is the call to action at the end? What do the showcases look like? What is the value that's given in this consultation, in this action clip video or this voiceover? What is the energy behind it? All of these things you have to write down. You have to physically write down what are the repeating patterns that I'm seeing on each and every one of these videos. What is the same words or the verbiage that they're using? That way I can copy and understand what it is that I'm doing. If we don't understand what it is, what the goal of any of this is, then we are going to lose track of what we are doing. You need to understand this on a deeper level if you want real success. Study people who are getting results and figure out what they are doing repeatedly to be able to get consistent results. All right. Another thing that you can do is look at what the comments say. Go to the comment section and look at what the viewers are intrigued about. The viewers know exactly what they like. If you're able to get a person that's watching your video to go to the comment section, that means that that's something that you should probably add in every single video. It's very important that you take what's already working. Don't try and come up with your own thing. I see too many barbers or too many content creators that are trying to come up with their own sauce, and it doesn't work like that. Content is the same, always has been the same, and will always be the same, and we're going to get into why. But psychologically, content is the same because we're all the same psychologically. We're all intrigued on the same things. That's why trends are our thing. It's because we are all intrigued on the same thing, and if you're able to understand the principles, you're able to study and understand, you will really figure out what's working and why it's working. So when you study, you're going to focus on one thing at a time. Don't try and break down an entire video. Look at a video and say, wow, I really like this editing. I'm going to focus on studying the editing of this video. Wow, I really like these showcases. Today, I'm just going to study showcases. Wow, this dude has really good hooks. A lot of people love his hooks. His hooks stop me to make me want to watch. So I'm going to study his hooks today. Don't study the entire video every time. Focus on one thing that you need to improve. That's going to make it actually easy for you to go deep and not wide. Because if you stay surface level when studying, you're never going to be able to get results. You need to get really good at one thing at a time. And before you know it, you're going to have a repertoire of things that you're just really good at. So don't spread your attention thin. Go deep on one single subject. All right. Once we learn how to study and we have a pretty good idea, you have to learn how to copy. Yes, I said that. Copy. You're going to copy what people are doing because, again, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know what works yet. Until you implement what it is that you're studying, you don't know what works. Because as someone who wasn't a content creator, became a content creator, and then mastered a content creator, what I learned was when I first started, I had no clue what it was that I was supposed to be looking at. I had no idea. And now I see barbers and I help them and they have no idea what they're doing wrong. They have no idea what they're doing right, if they even do something right. I tell them to study and they don't even know what studying looks like because they don't know what to study. If you've never done algebra and I'm telling you to study algebra, how are you going to know how to study algebra? You won't take away a single thing, right? So what you're going to do after you learn how to study is you're going to copy. Yes, copy. And I mean as literal as possible, you're going to copy these people until you have enough results to where you can break away. So you're going to copy a video and it has to have a lot of views. If it doesn't have a lot of views, if it's not a spike or a top performer in this person's content, then there is no reason for you to watch that because it didn't perform that well. Sometimes people just have a big following, and an average video can have better numbers than yours. But really, you want to study videos that have spikes. Spikes mean that even for that person, they did something better than what they usually did. So those are the videos that you typically want to copy, right? So when you find these videos, when you find these spikes, you want to break it down clip by clip by clip. So if you're studying editing, you're breaking down every single cut, every single keyframe, every single zoom in, everything, every pop-up. You need to make sure that clip by clip, you're breaking these things down. Same thing with the hook. Every single, like clip by clip, you're going to break down the hook. Okay, in these first second, he did this. Second second, he did this. Third second, this person did this. Everything that you do, that you're studying, you need to copy and break it down clip by clip. That's the only way that you're going to be able to really see if what this person did worked or not. If you change any little thing, it could be a make or break when it comes to content. Content is very specific. So even the smallest detail has to be perfect when you're copying someone to get the same result as they did. Do everything identically. I just went over that. Do everything just like you saw. That's how you're going to guarantee yourself the best result. Because again, you still don't know what it is that you're supposed to be doing. This right here is going to help you catch up to the market standard. Meaning you're going to be able to create average videos. If you're able to copy people that are getting good results, chances are you'll get about 10% of the results that they got, which is typically good. If someone's getting 100K views and you're studying them, you will probably get about 8 to 10K views. And that's solid. That's you being at market standard, and that's a good foundation, right? So now that we have all of these skills and we're up to market standard, now we have to learn how to understand the principles of content. Understanding the principles is exactly what it sounds like. You need to understand why this content works and how you can simplify it in order to continue getting a consistent result. So what you're going to do is, now that you've copied a bunch of videos, you've tested a bunch of different things out, you've got a good amount of data, a good amount of numbers, you're going to find the patterns in your own highest performing videos. You're going to go through your own comment section, you're going to find patterns in your own videos, and you're going to create your own framework. Creating your framework is basically telling yourself, okay, at the simplest of this content, what is working? What exactly am I doing here? What exactly am I doing here? Okay, every single video I say this and it works. What is this? Is it a geotag? Is it raising the stakes? Is it a problem? Okay, where does this go in the video that's been working for me? Okay, cool. So a reveal. Every time I do a reveal and I use a riser sound effect, the video goes crazy. Boom. So that's your first step of your framework. And all you're going to do is create a framework so that every single video you can copy it and you can master it. That's exactly what I did with my content. I understood content at a fundamental level, and I understood the absolute basics that it takes to create good content, to go viral, to get people to lock in and watch. And then I perfected that. Once you perfect the basics, now is when it gets fun, right? So it's important that you perfect your framework. Every single thing that we just went over, this took me years to learn. This took me years of going through this process and refining and studying and refining and studying and refining. And it wasn't until I created my own framework that I went from literally grinding for 6 or 7 months just to get to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 followers so that I can instantly jump up to 10. I can instantly jump up to 50, to 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Because once I understood my framework, that's when I started to get crazy results. Understanding my framework got me to 100,000 followers. Understanding my own framework got me to, I think, $80 a cut. from 80 to 100 was right here. Take content that's working somewhere else, meaning taking content that's working in another industry, whether it's beauty, whether it's, a hairstylist, cosmetology, nails, construction, anything. You're taking content that's working somewhere else on social media and you're going to use it and incorporate it in barbering. This is where you're no longer you're no longer at market standard. You're no longer at the top of the wave. You're no longer like one of the high performers. You will create your own shit. This is where you become a dog because nobody can copy you at this level. Everyone will see your content and say, nah, he's copying. Everyone will see someone trying to do your content and they're going to say, nah, he's copying so-and-so. He's trying to be like so-and-so. That's when you know you reached the top of the market. That's when you're really able to scale to those 100, 125. You're making money on social media. You're definitely over 50,000 followers. This is where you blow up and you're able to come up to have a real brand. This is how I built my brand. This is how I got 800,000 followers across all platforms. And now I'm able to use that brand to help people build up to 10,000 followers within months instead of taking 2 years the way that it did me. Social media is the easiest way to pop off. Yes, it does take all of this work, but again, either you commit to change or you stay broke. You commit to change or you stay broke. So, we're over here. Social media is 100% psychological. What does that mean? If it works somewhere else, then it will work in your field as well. It will work in your niche as well. Because the principle is what you're taking away. You're going to take the principle, you're going to type it into ChatGPT of the script that this person used, or you're going to take the principle of what made the content different than everything else. You're going to take the principle and you're going to fill in the blanks with your own niche. It doesn't mean fill in the blanks literally with the words. Yes, you could do that, but literally with the content. Now that you understand all of this, I personally can take any piece of content from any other field and I could break it down to a level where I can make it into barber content some way, somehow. I understand it. So, because social media is 100% psychological, I can go into a tattoo creator and I could take from what he's doing. I could go to a braider. I could look at what she's doing and implement it in my content. I could look at, cutting, satisfying things, and I could put it in barbering. It's all the same thing because psychologically, all we're doing is getting people to stop scrolling and be in a daze. All we're doing is hypnotizing people to watch our content. And then we show them a payoff at the end. That's why people pay $125 for a haircut. It's because we sold them through a video. So once you learn how to sell through a video and then make it funny or make it entertaining at the same time, you have a gold mine. This is how, even at $100 a haircut, I was still bringing in 80 new clients in 1 month. I was able to make $28,000 in 1 month from mastering this skill. I was making $8,000 a month on TikTok alone without barbering income. $8,000 a month on TikTok. That's not including what I was getting from Facebook. Break all constraints on creativity. The whole reason why everyone else that you're seeing in the industry is kind of doing the same similar content is because they're all put in a box. All of these people have coaches that have always been in the box. To them, they can't see further than what's been working for everyone else. Everyone is getting watered down content. I believe I'm the only coach that can really break through all barriers and break out of the box. I'm the only one that's done it, and no one has really changed the game the way that I have. is because I literally broke all constraints. I broke out of the box and I was super creative with what was possible. Not because I came up with something by accident, because I understood this right here. I understood this right here. Understanding principles and psychology when it comes to content. If you're able to understand this and you're able to perfect this right here, taking content from somewhere else, you will make waves that last years in this barber industry, because barbers are complacent and they have no idea what's really out there for them. All they want is to be spoon fed. If you go and put in this type of work, nobody could touch you, bro. Absolutely nobody could touch you. Break all constraints on creativity. And I'm going to give you an example of what that may look like. I was the only barber on social media to ever have an attitude with the clients. Nobody thought about that. When I saw that everyone was trying to be this perfect barber and show up on camera like they're just this amazing guy and they're trying to ask all the perfect questions, when everyone was going right, I made a sharp left. Making that sharp left is exactly what made me stand out without even having to try. I was being authentically myself, and I made a sharp left because I was tired of trying to look like this perfect person on camera and trying to say the perfect words. How much are you tipping was one of the things that I asked. And that sent waves through the community. That comment bait, that little rage bait right there, sent waves through the community. And at first, I was getting so much hate because of it. But next thing you know, I have a community of people that are coming into the joke, and it's an inside joke inside my own community. So when I have clients pull up and I charge $125, $150 for a haircut, even though they're paying $150 for a haircut, they're texting me like, yo, don't even worry, bro. I got you with that $50 tip too. So they're already planning on giving me a tip because of that one thing that I said. That allowed me to get to $20,000 a month, only doing like 120 haircuts, bro. I was barely working at all, but I was able to make so much money because I broke the barriers of creativity. So this is the entire framework that you need to get to $28,000 a month cutting hair as a barber. So I hope this helped you. This is exactly what I did to get me to where I am. So if it worked for me, it could work for you. This is going to take a lot of effort, a lot of work. If you're looking to do this in 3 to 4 months compared to a year, hit me up. Go to my Instagram. I help people scale up. I guide you guys through this journey. I give you exactly what you need, scripts, templates, anything else like that. But this right here is strictly for those people that really do want to do it by themselves. This alone will help you and guide you through your journey. Take a screenshot of this. I'm gonna frame it for you guys to actually be able to take a screenshot. That way you can actually like keep this in your phone or in your notes, and you can actually use this to get yourself results, bro. This is the framework you should go by. That way you can know exactly where you are, and this will get you to where you gotta go. So appreciate you for your time, man. I'll see you on the next one.